What is something you considered completely normal for everyone for a long time, only to discover that you were the only one who did it? I regularly take showers in the dark. I told my friends, and they looked at me like I was crazy. I was sure other people liked doing it too. Strangely, I am afraid of the dark in every other situation. I cry when I poop. I thought everyone did until I started living with a roommate at university. I came out of the bathroom with a tear-streaked face, as usual. She asked very anxiously whether everything was okay. I calmly replied, "Oh no, I just pooped." I think that explains everything. But apparently, it did not. And no, it does not hurt. There is just some strange connection in my nervous system that makes tears come out when I poop. At Easter, we have water gun fights. I thought every family celebrated Easter that way, but it turned out that only ours did. It started when my mother woke up my older brothers and sisters by shooting them with a water gun, then gave them their Easter baskets. Eventually, they started saving money to buy water guns of their own. In short, 20 years later, the entire family still buys powerful water blasters and has battles. To me, that is a completely traditional Easter celebration. This is not my story, but I think it belongs here. A friend used to say that bananas, or maybe it was another fruit, I do not remember exactly, tasted spicy. It turned out that she was simply allergic. My ex thought apples made everyone's face itch. He was very surprised when I told him that he was probably allergic. I used to think everyone could apply sunscreen to their own back. It turned out that I have hypermobility in almost all of my joints. I used to see husbands in television shows zipping up their wives' dresses in luxurious bedrooms, and I got the impression that it was some kind of intimate game or flirtation. So, when I grew up and coworkers or random women asked me or someone else to zip up their dresses, it felt extremely intimate to me. But as I understand now, not everyone can reach their own back. I have never had that problem. I can even apply sunscreen to my own back. I am constantly lost in daydreams and fantasies, to the point that I sometimes feel as though I am not inside my own body, as though my mind is slipping away from me. I have the same thing. Sometimes I replay memories so intensely that I begin replacing them with imaginary versions of what happened. Afterward, it becomes very difficult to tell which memories are real and which are imagined. It is extremely frustrating. I remember my car's license plate number. It turns out that not everyone does. One day, I was standing in a parking lot with payment machines where you had to enter your vehicle's plate number. Most people in line did not know theirs in advance and ran back to their cars to write it down. My friend offered to go and check my number, but I said I knew it by heart. For some reason, she was completely amazed. I surveyed my friends. None of them remembers their car's plate number. When I was a child, I needed to know my parents' plate numbers so I could tell which car to walk toward when they came to pick me up. Almost everyone in our neighborhood had the same kind of gray car. I also memorized song lyrics easily. For example, I learned every word of the 12-minute song Albuquerque by Weird Al Yankovic. My entire memory is occupied by useless numbers and songs, so there is no room left for people's names or schoolwork. I place my palm over dry cereal before pouring in the milk so the cereal does not float up and the milk does not spill over the edge. Maybe that is normal, but once I did it during a sleepover at a friend's house, and she looked at me as though I had discovered a cure for cancer. Wait, do you pour the milk directly onto your hand? The question was not directed at me, but I do this too. And no, the milk does not pour onto your hand. You cover about 3/4 of the bowl with your palm and pour the milk into the space between your thumb and index finger. That way, when the milk enters the bowl, the cereal does not float up or scatter over the edge. I can go 5 to 7 days without pooping, and this happens to me regularly. Edited. I did not expect this reaction. How do any of you get anything done if you poop 7 times a week? That is very unhealthy for your body. You need to eat plants, man. Leafy vegetables, root vegetables, beans, and fruit, but not bananas. Spend a couple of weeks on a plant-based diet, and you will poop on schedule. After using the toilet, I wipe my butt while standing. I thought everyone did that, until I talked about it with my girlfriend. She said she wipes while sitting. There was once an entire argument about this on Reddit. Personally, I am versatile in this area. Now, I wipe while sitting first, then stand up to make sure everything is thoroughly handled. I imagine fake interviews in my head where I am a famous guest. It is all just an act of pure narcissism, right? I did not know that other people actually see pictures in their minds. I do not. I thought phrases such as the mind's eye and picture it in your head were simply figures of speech. Apparently they are not. I thought everyone liked the smell of an air conditioner when it had just been turned on, but I have not met a single other person who likes it. I constantly drop things for no reason. Apparently, this only happens in our family. We even have a special word for it, but nobody around us understands what I mean. Edited. I knew I was not the only one. For anyone interested, the word I use is a French version of the word clumsiness, but in an unusual form, like saying, I had a clumsiness. Here is also a list of possible causes that people sent me: a brain or spinal cord tumor, ADHD, narcolepsy, or autism. I have the rarest form of synesthesia, lexical gustatory synesthesia. I literally taste words. On top of that, the same words spoken with different accents have different tastes. For example, the word mate with an American accent tastes like tree bark, while with an Australian accent, it tastes like soil. I did not wear underwear until I was 10 years old. I was the opposite. I only wore underwear until I was 10. I tap out the rhythm of songs with my teeth. Yes, I know. I am strange. When I am riding in a car and looking out the window, I imagine a guy running along the side of the road and jumping over everything in his path. I recently said to my friends, everyone does that, right? They looked at me like I was insane. I eat the crusts from bread. There is nothing wrong with them. They are just pieces of bread. But nobody I know eats them. Everyone simply throws them away. When my daughter was little, she refused to eat the end pieces of a loaf. She said they were disgusting. So, when I made a sandwich, I simply turned the crust inward. She never noticed. From the age of 6 to 11, do not make fun of me, Lowell, I slept with 3 pillows. How? I put one between my legs, hugged one, and kept one under my head. I do not know why, but I thought everyone in kindergarten slept that way. For some reason, all 3 pillows always ended up on the floor by morning. I told my friends in kindergarten about it. They thought I was very strange. I can give myself goosebumps simply by tensing the area around my neck and shoulders. I thought everyone could do it. And the phrase, "that gave me goosebumps," always seemed stupid to me until I realized that I may be the only one. Constant anxious overthinking and getting stuck on thoughts. I thought everyone experienced it until I told my ex and my best friend. They both said they did not. I only eat the green part of a watermelon. I do not like the red part because it is too sweet. The bitter green part is just right. Sorry. What the fuck? When someone says a word that I do not completely recognize, I try to spell it in my head, then check later to see whether I imagined it correctly. I sort colored candies by color, arrange them in rows from my least favorite to my favorite, then eat one of each color in ascending order. I finish with my favorite. I count stairs and sidewalk tiles all the time. I make the numbers add up to 18. If there are 9 steps, I pretend there are twice as many and count each one as 2. Everything has to equal 18, or it annoys me. I have several strange habits. I tap out beats with my teeth, clicking and clapping my jaw. I look strange from the outside. I simply open and close my mouth without explanation. Sometimes I suddenly realize, wow, this is real life. This is not a game. I am actually doing this. Wow. I crack every part of my body that I probably should not. Wrists, knees, ankles, toes, finger joints, neck, and so on. Golden birthdays. In my family, they were a huge event. A golden birthday is when your age matches the date of your birthday. For example, my birthday is on the 11th, so my golden birthday was when I turned 11. On that birthday, we received a big gift. Everyone looked forward to it. I passed the tradition on to my children, but my wife, her relatives, and everyone else I have spoken to had no idea that this was a thing. I add up the digits and license plate numbers. If the total is even, everything is fine. If it is odd, it bothers me. At the airport baggage carousel, I stand farther back so other people can reach their bags comfortably. I draw the number 5 in one continuous movement from the bottom upward. I thought everyone did it, until my wife, who is an elementary school teacher, saw it and looked at me in horror. I drink the milk from the bowl after I finish the cereal. I did not know that was strange until I did it at a friend's house during my senior year of high school. I still do it. Pouring the milk away just seems stupid to me. I invent complicated rules for how I have to walk across sidewalk tiles. Then people passing by ask why I am walking so strangely. I do not do this anymore, but as a child, I always started walking with my right foot, and the final step had to be taken with my left. There also had to be an even number of steps. I also cannot stand it when the volume level is displayed as a number, because it absolutely has to be even. In the past, if I did something with the right side of my body, I had to repeat it with the left side, or I felt unbalanced. I also often replaced words with their numerical values, added the numbers together, and reduced them to a single digit. For example, AS is A1 plus S19, which equals 20. If I ended up with a number containing several digits, I added those digits until only one remained. For example, 11 became 2, something like that. I always closed the damn bedroom door. I used to leave the bedroom door open during the day. The cats liked sleeping on my bed, and the room got some fresh air. But a cat named Stretch ruined everything. To begin with, Stretch is not the smartest cat in the world. He overeats and then throws up the excess. Because of that, he started being fed separately from the others. But anyway, one day I walked into the room without looking, sat on the bed, and felt something slimy underneath me. It turned out that I had sat directly on a pile of cat vomit. Later, I also stepped into another pile on the carpet. After that, every cat was banned from my bedroom because I could not explain it to them and say, "This is exactly why you do not deserve to be in here." I simply had to keep the door closed. About 2 weeks ago, I left the door open again. I was lying in bed and reading, so I could watch who entered. Suddenly, I heard Stretch starting to charge up his vomit blaster. It was the first time he had been in my bedroom in a year, and the first thing he tried to do was vomit on my carpet again. Fortunately, I managed to jump up, grab him, and carry him out of the room so he could throw up on the tile, but I still doubt that he understood me. Thank you very much for watching. In the comments below the video, tell us about something you considered completely normal for everyone for a long time, only to discover that you were the only one who did it. Do not forget to watch our other videos. Hugs. Bye.